Welcome back. You're watching the Property Guide on ET Now. Thank you for staying with us. It's time for our Meet the Developer segment. This week, we wanted to find out what super luxury actually means in the city of Mumbai, considering these apartments are being priced between 20 crore rupees and 100 crore rupees per apartment. We caught up with Gaurav Gupta, director of Omkar Realtors, to find out. Take a look. Gaurav, thank you so much for speaking with us. Now, we've talked about how the term luxury is fairly loosely used in our market, but what you're building here is obviously super luxury.
Absolutely.
And from what your team tells me, the largest apartment on offer in this particular product will be 18,000 square feet, which is, again, I mean, simply from a Bombay point of view, that's super luxury, but priced, interestingly, close to 100 crore rupees. Now, you have to help me understand that in an apartment, what can you possibly offer me for 100 crore rupees?
So if you look at Worli, our concept and our vision always was that, this is a location typically, which is, once in a lifetime location in a place like Bombay. We met quite a few architects from different parts of the world, and we zeroed in on an architect called Fosters and Partners. So I think Fosters, they've done a lot of quality developments all over the world, and their vision is very, very different. So they came out with this concept, that to create a bungalow in the sky typically. I think the overall amenity space, if you look at it, it's roughly around 2.5 lakh square feet, and this is in South Bombay. What differentiates it further is that if you look at the floor to ceiling heights, the 100 crore apartments, if we talk about it, the floor to ceiling height is roughly around 4.2 meters. The other element of luxury, if you talk about, is the terraces which we have. If you look at it, we've utilized terraces, in a very, very different manner, in a manner in where a customer feels luxurious. So typically, we have a jacuzzi kind of concept in one of the rooms with the terrace. Another room we have the children's room typically will have a cocoon kind of a concept, which is a day bed for the child typically. The living will have different sitting elements. One of the features in the living room would be you have your inside dining as well as you can have an outside dining on the terrace.
Out of curiosity, and I know you won't have the exact amount at this point, but what will the upkeep or the community charges be on a monthly basis for a building like this one?
I think another concept is that if it's super luxury, the maintenance charges are going to be extremely high. But I think what we've done is we've taken a few steps typically, that if you look at it, it's a gold certified building. So the costings for the common areas would be much less as compared to others.
Right.
So I don't think there's a lot of difference when it comes to common maintenance costs. If you take a normal project in Bombay, I don't think the difference would be that much typically. But at the same time, what we've ensured is we've given a lot of amenities to the society.
Can you give us a number?
I think it should be in the range of roughly around 12 odd rupees, 12 to 13 odd rupees typically.
All right, so tell me this, we know that the last 1 year has been a tough year for Mumbai property market altogether. Comparing this project, the one you have in BKC and the one you have in Malad and Goregaon, tell us what demand has been like, and have you had to push products, possibly negotiate across the table?
Historically, if you look at it, in Bombay, sales took place only on one factor, or what real estate was recognizable was only one thing: location, location, location. That was the historical way, your prices were established or your goods were sold typically. But if you look at today, what is the change which has taken place, is that today's customer, he will look at, he'll look at 8 or 9 different factors. So, if you're able to get these 8 or 9 different, you're able to tick marks these 8 or 9 boxes typically. I think those are the projects, where you've seen constant sales. Like we've seen, like you talked about our Malad project, which is Alta Monte. You talked about, the project which we did with L&T in partnership at Parel, or the BKC Crossing one. We've seen sales consistently over the past couple of years. There have been small spikes, but if you talk about from an average yearly perspective, I think we've seen pretty good volume because we are able to tick mark all these boxes. We're able to show people execution, we're able to show people value for money.
But still, you have on your website an offer of 25/75 payment on your Altamount property. Is that not in some way a discount to the customer?
I don't think it's a discount because if you look at it, the pricing mechanism, if you look at it, there are two options which a customer can buy a product. One is a construction linked option, where the pricing would be in the range of, say for example, if I take the example of Malad, it would be in the range of 13,000 plus. The second option which the customer has today is, to buy under the 25/75 scheme. If you look at the pricing in that, I think the pricing in that would be in the range of 15,000, 14,500 to 15,000. So I don't think we've discounted it from that perspective. It's just a different, 25/75 is a different market typically. It's a market, where people want to earn money against leverage typically, where they look at return on equity being pretty high.
All right, for such investors who are watching right now, we know of the products that you have available in the market that are ongoing. What are your plans going forward outside of the ones that we've already heard about?
I think going forward, this year our focus typically is, that we would be coming out in the month of May, June typically. We are working on a very big development, somewhere in the region of Powai typically. And there the concept is, we've realized that, in Bombay typically there's a lot of shortage of, I would say budget houses. Budget by the definition of Bombay's budget houses typically. So I
by
think
budget you mean 1.5 crore rupees?
I think less than that. If you look at it typically, what we have in mind is typically, 1 BHK, where the ticket size typically could be roughly around 80 lakhs, 80 lakhs onwards, and a 2 BHK typically, where the ticket size could be in the range of 1 crore 15, 1 crore 20 lakhs.
All right, Gaurav, thank you so much for spending time with us, and good luck with the new project.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so that does seem like opulence. Remember, it's a wrap on the show, but if you have any questions, write to us. Our email ID is at the bottom of your screen. You'll find a copy of the show on our Facebook page, and you can reach me personally on Twitter. I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks so much for watching.